and welcome to game 4 of the TNQ tournament. And I'm facing a Ogre list for the first game of day 2. To start with his list, from the left he have a unit of iron guts, 7 of them, full command, lookout, goblet. Then he have a other 7 iron guts, lookout, goblet, full command. In that unit you have a slaughtermaster, level, let's see, I think it's 3 of beast, and also another slaughtermaster level 3 of maw, I think. And he also have his battle standard bear in that unit. Next to that he have a unit of man-eaters. They have swift stride and poison. 4 of them have great weapon. The champion have dual pistols, the other one have additional hand weapon. And he also have, as you can see, there's an iron blaster to the right of this picture. The objective for this game is, you can see a coin, and there's another coin, and if you control that coin in the end of the 3rd turn and the end of the 5th turn, you get 200 additional victory points. And that's his side. And this is the right flank. You have in that forest, which is a fear causing forest, 7 lead belchers with musician, and then you have 7 bulls with full command and lookout, gnoblars and iron fist. Well, as you can see in my deployment, I pretty much keep my whole army to the left of the table. If you want a more closer description of my army list, you can either check out the video I have in the links below, or just read. I will send the whole army list in the description of this video. And unfortunately the table here is not 48 inches, it's 47.5, which make it impossible for Bretonnia to have a 6 deep lance. So I have to put my level 2 into the peasant cab, and I have a Paladin to the left of this picture, but otherwise I just keep my 2 paladins and a lord in that wyrmlance to the right. Then I have a errant lance with my level 4 and 3 paladins in it, and then have the other wyrmlance with the discipline banner, with my lord, my BSP, and another paladin and a Paladin. If you go further to the left, I also have placed my 10 archer there and my treb. So that's my deployment. Well, since I have to get the blessing, I pretty much gave up the first turn, and he didn't do a lot. He pretty much keep his distance. He pushes up his lead belcher and fire at my fast cab, and he did, let's see, I have 8 left, so he must have done 2 wounds. He rolled pretty bad for that, and his iron blaster killed 1 of my archer, and we're all a 1 to wound my treb. And that's basically it. So, and he also got off the curse on my lord's general's lance, so I just pushed up my lances carefully without doing anything stupid. I have the peasant cab in a conga line there to give cover from the lead belcher fire, because I do not want his lead belcher actually firing at my knight without severe penalty for hitting. Well, my magic didn't do much. I think I rolled no more than 5 for wins of magic during the whole game, and the same goes for my opponent. I think he rolled over 5 just one time or something like that. So our magic is pretty much non-existing in this game. But my treb, one of my trebs at least, scored a direct hit on his iron gut, man-eater unit, and take off 2 of them. But they actually pass their panic check, so they stick around. and I think my peasant archer did a wound or two or on his iron gut Death Star unit, and that's it for the first Bret turn. And this is showing the ogre's second turn. His other flank didn't just move anything at all, I don't think. Maybe pushed forward a bit or something like that, but nothing major. And then, as you can see on this picture, his unit closing in on me. His lead belcher open up on my fast cap, and I have only 3 of them left, but I passes my panic check. His ogre bulls there standing on the objective, so he will receive 200 victory points for the third turn in the game. His iron blaster ship up 2 wounds of my trap, and he get off the curse on my Lord lance, and I didn't stop it because I have no plan of charging with my Lord's lance turn 2. This picture is taken after his movement turn 3. So as you can see, for my turn, you see my lance in the front there. People underestimate how long a Bretonnian charge can be, especially if you have the combined strength of the Band of Swiftness, so they are movement 9, I have Virtue of the Impetuous Knight, so I get to add an extra d6, so it's 9 with Swift Stride plus an extra d6, and I made a charge into his man-eaters. I pushes up my Wizard Lance over there to get some cover from his lead belcher fire, and I got off Savage Beast on my Lord with heroic killing blow. He killed 3 man-eater by himself. I took a challenge with his champion with one of my paladins. That paladin died, and I used my yeoman, you can see in the top right in this picture, to stop his iron blaster from charging my flank if something would go terribly wrong. I also use a Paladin. You can see I already have killed it with his big Death Star unit to stop his Death Star units from charging me in the flank. And since he was only a champion left, I let him run and reform like that to face his Death Star next turn. And he had to rally on the snake eyes, and he failed it, and he couldn't do anything. And for his turn, you can see he have faced me, and I didn't take any more picture of his turn because his lead belcher pushes up and shoot at my errant knights and kill a lot of them. So to say that I could not get a lookout sir, and then he take his iron blaster and try to snipe out my mage, but my mage made her ward save, and that errant knight lance is pretty much depleted. His bull unit just stick on the objective, and as I told you earlier, granted him 200 victory points for the scenario objective. So over for Bretonnian turn 3. And now I feel, oh, I got him where I want him. I send him one lance with the Lord and a Paladin into his Iron Gut Death Star, and my general charged out from his realm bus into that Iron Gut unit. I then took a single Paladin out of that unit to stop him from making a charge into my BSB lance with his Iron Gut unit, and just push them backward a bit so we could not do any clipping to hit them or something like that. Also charge my yeoman into his iron blaster, which will, I have a banner, I have a charge, and I have 6 attacks. Wounding on 6 is hopefully I can do a wound, and hopefully he only did do 2 wounds on me. I win by 1, and hopefully I can break him. I also take out my Paladin over there to stop his iron gut. Hopefully they will charge him and kill him and not shoot down at my Prophetess unit next turn. And you can see this is what I hope to achieve with this turn. Well, my human didn't manage to do the work on the iron blaster. I think they did 1 wound though, but it just pivoted around after killing them all. And basically I was so depressed at what happened with my wyrmlance and the Lord, I forgot to take a picture, I guess. And what happened is I have leadership 9. I failed 2 fear tests on leadership 9, so neither of my all of my lances have weapon skill of 1. I first go off with my general. He had the Gauntlet duel, so cannot refuse his challenge, so he sends there his slaughter master, and I pretty much do, well, I do 1 wound on him, but unfortunately he managed to do 1 wound on me too, so that I didn't get anything for. My lore level Bretonnia strike at his battle standard bear, and even though I have overstrike first and reroll, I got I think 3 hits. I have strength. He got to a savage beast on him. He got strength 7. I managed to do 3 wounds on him, and I didn't roll a single 6. And he had like a ward save or something, so he saved and survived with 1 wound remaining. My wyrmlance did a couple of wounds to his iron gut unit, and well, he did a lot of wounds to me. He killed my lord, and he killed some realm knights, and yeah. I pretty much just bounce back and his deck, and now my knight unit is in a big trouble. And this picture is showing his lead vulture killing an overrun from my paladin. Well, he did his job to stop them from shooting and stuff like that, at least. And he seems like he have taken out 1 of them, so that's good. His magic, I don't think he did anything. For his shooting phase, his iron blaster tried to snipe out my Prophetess again, but I think I passed my ward save once again, and she survived. He only killed a knight, so he didn't even get the pleasure of rolling the break test for my unit. And that was this part of the combat. And this is the more harmful part of the combat. His iron gut, you can see in the bottom of this picture, did kill my paladin, and I reformed to face my wyrmlance. Then I have my lord. He breaks from combat. I think I passed my fear test, or I may have failed the fear test on my lord again. That's why his slaughter master is still alive. And you can see my wyrmlance there. He didn't do too much wound. I think I rolled pretty well for the blessing, so I survived. I was on a 4 or 5, and I'll actually stick around for 1 more turn with my realm knights, because that's good, because then my general can cowardly run away and keep the points. He also had picked out the paladin from that unit and the champion, so I just have 7 regular knights left in that unit. And this is my turn 4, and I learned from the first game in this tournament, and instead of trying to do some stupid counter charge with, I just realized, oh, I'm gonna try to cut my losses here. So what I do is I basically take my rally my general, I turn my BSB lands around and run towards his lead butcher, because I think I can take them in combat, hopefully. I take my Prophetess lands and hide her from the iron blaster, and I conga line my archer to stop his iron gut from doing anything, except for charging them and killing them, of course. And that's it for my movement phase. I think I tried to cast the Amber Spear in the flank of the ogres. I did roll a crappy magic phase once again, and no, I didn't get it through. This picture is just showing his ogre breaking my wyrmlance, and I run away. The banner is still there. It should have been taken away, but well, it doesn't really matter at all. Anyway, so over to ogre turn 5. So for the ogre turn 5, his iron guts slams into my archer, and the funny thing here is he will kill every one of them except 3, but since there are not a lot of game turns left, I will not run off the board, and I will just stick around, run, still fleeing, but I will stay on the board and keep those points, and he will reform to face my wyrmlance, who actually cleared the charge from the lead belcher, and they stick around. So, and the iron blaster try to shoot my general, but he rolls poorly and he did not hit him. So over to Bretonnian turn 5. So I do what the Bretonnian army do best. I charge my general and my wyrmlance into that lead belcher unit, and I will pretty much, I get off Savage Beast bubble for the first time with 5 dice, and well, it makes the end for the lead belcher, of course. I think my opponent got off curse on my wyrmlance last turn, and I let it go because I was not into doing a lot of wound. I was into more like surviving, so I let that go and stop poisons instead. As you can see, I will win this combat. He will only have 1 model left, and that's the model in touch with my wyrmlance and general. So I will pursue towards the top right corner of this picture, away from his iron gut unit, which is to the left of this picture. And this picture just shows where I ended up after the overrun. And this is ogre turn 6. As you can see, my general is fleeing. Then that's because first his iron gut charged my general. It was a pretty easy charge to make to him, so I chose to flee. He tried to redirect, he passed it and redirect into my errant knights, and I actually chose to stick because I think he needed an 8, and of course he makes it, because had I fled I would have ended up in front of that bulls. I would either have gotten caught by the bulls or pushed backward towards where the man-eaters were, and he could have killed me then. So I thought it were better to just take the chance and hope he failed that 8 charge, but he didn't, and his bulls got into my BSB lance. He got off the ogre charge, I think, and that's basically what he did. His magic was as usual. He failed. He rolled 5 dice and failed first spell, so nothing happened in the magic phase. And shooting phase, he didn't shoot at my tread because he was afraid that he might roll a misfire, so he don't wanna lose a 170 point-ish war machine for a 90 point treb. So no shooting, no magic, over to combat. Well, this is after combat turn, so here's the case. His iron gut break my unit of knights. I don't remember what was left of it. I think I may have my 2 knights and a paladin or something left. I don't remember, to be honest. But I roll with swift glide, trying to flee. He catches me. He overruns into my wyrmlance, and well, as you can see, he put out a lot of damage to my wyrmlance, but since my BSB have Savage and my level 4 and my Paladin, the other unit back who broken, also have Savage, they did a pretty decent output on his iron guts too, so he have lost 3 iron guts. And I actually stay, And this is after he have done a combat reform with the ogres to make them 3 wide instead to get in an extra ogre attack on me. So over to Brett, turn 6. Well, this is after my combat turn 6. I tried in the shooting phase with the trap to take out his iron blaster. They scatter off and kills an iron guts or something like that. It was nothing particularly impressive. In the combat though, he killed my wyrmlance, so that's a bunch of victory points for him. But my Battlestunner Bear, he takes a crap ton of hit from the Iron Barricade, strength 6, and some from the Bulls, only strength 4 though, but even though he survived, and he did some damage back to the Iron Guts, and he actually survived. And even more impressive is he passed his break test and stick. I think I was not losing too bad. I was maybe a 5 or 6 or something like that, but I sticked. My general keep on running though, which was kind of good because he wouldn't get caught in an overrun and stuff like that. But he stayed on the board, so I keep the point for him. So the only thing I have left is my Battlestunner Bear, my cowardly fleeing general, my cowardly fleeing peasant archer, and my 2 trebs. And what I took of him is a unit of man-eaters and a unit of lead belchers. So it's a big lose for Bretonnia. I think I lost 18-2 or something like that. 18-2 I think, yeah. And I don't even feel sad because I think I played a good game, and some rolls pushed the battle on the other side. I was very happy. I thought I had a game in the pocket when I killed those man-eater and I charged his Iron Gut Death Star with my Lord and my lance. But then the dice turns on me. I'm not sure if I would have break him even though if I was not feared, but I think I would have killed at least his BSP. His Slaughtermaster would have a lot more wounds on him. He didn't have the crown on them, so he may even have a broken from combat. And well, if I would play this game again, I would not have done anything different, and I think that's good to say after the game, and that you know that you did play a good game, but the dice didn't go your way. And I think this is special for Bretonnia because if something goes wrong in the Bretonnian strategic, you are doomed. Just as in the first game, I ended up with 1 lance fleeing the second turn, and then the total game was almost a very uphill battle. Bretonnia doesn't have this capability of turning around if you have some bad luck with the dice or your opponent get in some lucky charge or something like that. That's pretty much what makes Bretonnia one of the worst army in the game. I think it's the incapability of actually turning a game around. If you fail, they are a very unforgiving army. You need to play a very good game, and even if you do, you may lose on the dice roll. So, well, that's my thought on my game, and I must say his army look very awesome. He have some cool non-Games Workshop model. I don't remember. He told me it was from some other company. There was, yeah, this Iron Gut unit, for example, that you see on this picture is from another company, and it looks really cool. And well, that's it for this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you around.